In the Configure Cabinet section, we have the front section first. Here, we now see various gap measurements. Gap measurements left, right, top, bottom affect the gaps to the outer edge of the cabinet. If I simply click OK here, then we will see the respective gap measurements in the front view. From the front, we can see the respective gap measurements. I can check this using the Measure Distance tool, and here we have 5 mm. In addition, we have horizontal and vertical gaps, which are also set to 5 mm here. I will now simply set a width of 800 and enter 2 segments each, or we can simply have 2 segments for the door to see it better, because now it is like this, that we have 5 mm horizontally/vertically everywhere. Alternatively, I can also use the Activate tool and double-click to enter the cabinet configuration. If I were to make the vertical number here, for example, 10 and horizontal simply 0, then let's see what the result is, because we now see 10 mm vertically. Of course, I can measure this here with Measure Distance, and we have 5 mm. However, 0 horizontally is not meaningful, and in this case, the front simply merges. There are still 2 cabinets, but the front is merged into one. Of course, we don't want that, but we have the option here to specify the gaps for each segment based on a horizontal gap of 0. We have 2 cabinets remaining, but the front is merged into one. We certainly don't want that, but here we have the possibility, based on a horizontal gap of 0, to specifically set the gaps for each segment. We have the different areas here, and it is very important that we read what is written in each cell in the Help section, and here it says 4 additional gap at top, for example, minus value, for example, minus 20, creates an overhang. But we don't want an overhang, so we enter 2 here. Now we can enter a setback of, for example, 4 for the lower segment. Here, we enter 2 again, and we also enter 2 here, confirm with OK, and let's just take a look at the result from the side. We go into the wireframe view, and now we can see the reference to the center of the intermediate shelf, and now we have 2 mm and 4 mm, and thus we now have the possibility to generate different distances and consequently gap measurements. Now I will create 90-degree handles and make 3 divisions here, and now let's look at the missing additions for left and right in Configure Cabinet. I will simply undo that and enter 0 here, and with a plus sign, we can fill all fields with 0, so that all the same fields are set to 0. I enter 3 here, for example, using a plus sign will automatically set all gaps to 3 mm. Now I set 0 mm for left and right here, and now I can define the left and right additions here for each segment again. I enter 2 and 4 here, 4 and 2, and 2 and 4 exemplarily, so that we can see the differences, and confirm with OK. As a result, we now see the different gaps on the left and right sides.